Hello, everyone. Okay, can you believe it? This is the end of the semester. We're pretty much done for the most part, except we have a final exam that is due on Monday, December 14th. So, presently, you have access to the final exam, and you have instructions pertaining to what you need to complete. Okay, so it's imperative that you read everything in its entirety. I also want to highlight that it's 100 points, and you'll be reading Coming to an Awareness of Language by Malcolm X. And I also want you to be mindful that this work will be submitted via Safe Assign, okay, similar to what you have done with your other assignments, other essays. So first things first, here is the document, okay? Similar to the study guide, you had to read, for example, last week, salvation, right? And then I provided you with an example of how to go about responding to the questions. And you have similar questions, okay, just like with salvation. So if you use the example that I provided, you will be up to par, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that you realize here are the instructions, okay? No, you cannot go to the communication center or writing center to have them look over your final exam, because I immediately receive emails from the writing center indicating that you saw an instructional assistant. Be mindful of the fact that this is a final exam. So you have your instructions, okay? Here is the rubric in terms of what I am looking for based on the points, okay? I also want to show you once again, okay, the format that I am looking for in terms of completing this assignment accurately. I have two classes for the writing course for ENC 27. So it's important that you be mindful of the fact that I need to clearly see that you have a main idea. Here it is, highlighted in blue. And you're explaining with details in terms of how it supports this main idea, okay? And again, is it pertaining to salvation? No, it's pertaining to coming to an awareness of language. And please, I'm sorry, there's a noise out there. They're doing construction. So if you do hear some banging or what have you, that's because they're working in the other room. And then you have, for the second question, okay, keywords indicating that you are explaining the details the author uses to provide support for the thesis, okay? So here are prime examples of what that entails. Next, you have strategies, okay, in terms of author's purpose or, the other strategies like bias, having to explain adjectives, even the senses, you can bring that in for those of you who are familiar, the sensory components. You can also talk about the patterns of organization as well. So if you do go that route in terms of explaining the strategies the author uses, right, to show effective organization and presentation of the ideas, here's what I'm asking you to do. Just highlight those key words, right, indicating that I'm showing you proof that I understand the author uses X, Y, and Z. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's clearly explained. You can show to me that you can see the strategies that the author has used within his writing. And again, you can refer back to your notes to help you with this exam. Then you have your conclusion, okay? So one of the things I want to address is that, again, with your conclusion, you're giving your personal insight, and you can use, first person, that's perfectly fine, but just make sure that you're giving your own overall personal response to this essay, okay? So I should see some adjectives in terms of your own personal views that shows your insight, okay? So this is really short and sweet in terms of your essay, or excuse me, your final exam, not essay, your final exam. So be mindful of what I'm looking for. Again, this is due on December 14th, okay? So just make sure you take care of completing the assignment. You can submit it anytime, and you have your link. Make sure that it was working. So you just submit it and select your document. You browse, okay, my computer or your computer at home. And again, there are a couple of you who are still using some kind of other platform of uploading your documents. If you don't use a regular Microsoft Word doc and it doesn't say like DOC, for example, okay, then you're going to have a hard time in terms of getting a grade from me. I will not be able to give you a grade because you're not using the right platform. So there are a couple of you still that are having a hard time in reference to that. And by now you should know how to upload your document for this course. Okay? All right. Once you're done uploading your document, you press submit for your grade. Because the turnaround time has to be before the, I believe, let me just double check, before the 21st. So during that week, as you can see here on my screen, I'll be grading religiously in terms of your final exams. And some of you might submit it ahead of time. You know who you are. You tend to finish your work way in advance. So feel free to submit it so you can get an immediate response. Reminder, grades, I will be finishing up by tomorrow. And also, if you want to have a phone conference with me or come in tomorrow, Thursday, to see me during my office hours, that's perfectly fine. You just need to make sure you put that on the paper or the Google Doc that I provided you, okay? And that goes for both of my classes. Please make sure that you select the Google Doc link under the announcements to make that particular schedule, okay? And just indicate if you want to come in to see me as opposed to doing a phone conference, and it's 10 minutes per student. All right, so that's pretty much it. Have a wonderful weekend, or week rather, and I look forward to seeing your final exams.